Hello everyone. In today's class we're going to be looking at how to write introduction paragraphs in an essay. So the introduction paragraph must have three elements. Firstly, either an attention getter or hook at the start, or you can have some general statements, background information if you're doing a funnel introduction. You must also preview the main sections A, B, C, etc. If you're writing a different type of academic essay, for example, a process essay or a narrative story or comparison essay, you should mention this in the introduction to give the reader some pointers to what kind of essay you're going to write. We are going to be writing an academic essay, which is give you opinion. So you must put your opinion in the thesis statement. And the thesis statement is the last sentence of the introduction paragraph. Please make sure that your thesis statement is always in the last sentence. So there are two ways to write an introduction. Either a funnel introduction, which we will study later. This is when you begin with general statements and background information. Then you gradually focus down, focus down, until you present the reader with the thesis statement, your opinion. Another way to write introduction is by using a hook or an attention grabber in the beginning of the introduction. This is to catch the reader's attention. So there are several ways to get the attention of the reader. You can either use an interesting fact or a general statement. You can use an anecdote, which means a story. You can tell a personal story. You can use a quotation or a proverb, or you can ask a question. Please have a look at the document Writing Introductions, and please answer the questions. You can pause the video before you continue. Read about writing introductions and answer the questions. When you are finished, you can start the video again. If you are using a hook or attention grabber to begin your introduction paragraph, you must link the hook and the thesis statement with other sentences. So, if you use a hook, you must link the hook and the thesis statement with 1 or 3 extra sentences to make a link between them. This is what we call a bridge. For example, if your thesis statement is, race relations are one of the most urgent problems facing American society, you could start with a hook. As a quotation, Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream where people would not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers." So you can use this quote to start your introduction as an attention grabber. And then between the hook and the thesis statement, if you just put the thesis statement right after the quotation, it's a bit of a sudden jump. So you must make a smooth transition from the hook to the thesis statement. This smooth transition we call a bridge. Okay, so for example, you could say, today, more than 50 years after this speech, Martin Luther King's dream is no closer to being fulfilled. The recent Black Lives Matter protests in the US have shown that racial discrimination is still a pressing problem and has exposed the deep divisions that exist. Or maybe you could say that still exist. Okay, so the final introduction paragraph would look like this. Okay, you can read it if you like. Another example, if your thesis statement is, there are numerous exciting outdoor adventures to be had in Japan. So you want to write about different adventures you can have. For example, sea kayaking around Hokkaido, or jungle trekking in Okinawa, or cycling across the Shimanami Kaido, or mountain hiking in Nagano Prefecture, or whale dolphin watching in Yonaguni. So you could start off with an interesting fact about Japan. For example, there are nearly 7,000 islands in the Japanese archipelago, with only 6% being, sorry, that should be inhabited. Few people would imagine that Japan is also the most forested country in the world, with 65% of the country being covered with forest. So to make a smooth transition between the hook and the thesis statement, you could use a bridge like this. These days, more and more people are visiting Japan as tourists. Most visitors stick to the usual historic cultural destinations, such as Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, while few venture further afield. However, if you're a bit adventurous and independent, you can explore some incredibly wild and beautiful scenery. So that's okay. Incredible, wild, and beautiful scenery. So your introduction paragraph may look like this. Okay,